You are listening to The Remedy.
Hey, welcome everyone to The Remedy. Glad you guys are here with me today. Appreciate you guys coming in to the session time. The music stopped a little abruptly there. I don't know what's going on. Good morning, everyone. How you been doing? Welcome to The Remedy, the Soul Podcast. My name is Jay Thompson, and I'm here with you this morning. I hope you guys are doing good wherever you are. I appreciate you guys coming in and being the best of people to speak with. So what's going on in your world? What is going on in your world? Well, as always, we kind of hit these little topics. So they become sort of like I think I'm building like a medicine cabinet of like maybe therapeutic antidotes or conversations. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm kind of envisioning these podcasts as being like. You know, when you go and you got a cold, you look into your cabinet and you've got the whatever, Sinutab stuff. I don't know what it's called. Cold Plus, Tylenol, whatever it is. But you know that's for a specific thing that you're feeling, right? And if you've got like, I don't know, something else, you know, you grab that. And if you've got, you know, a pain in your shoulder and you've got icy hot, you grab that. So I think that's what I'm trying to build with the same kind of idea with, you know, kind of a show where, you know, as you look through the topics, hopefully they are concise, hit home, and I try to stay on topic to hopefully help you get to just feel better, vent, get some ideas out and try to, you know, explore an outcome that you can be happy with. All right. So I've got like some things that were kind of in my field of thought, and I thought I wanted to kind of talk about it in a better way. And people, when I explain this to them, they often get misunderstood about what exactly I mean. And so I wanted to take a minute to kind of explain it a little bit more in detail. So at some point, I said you have to become your own best friend, right? And what I mean by that is, let's take an example of your best friend. They come over to your house and they are just saying, so many awful things about themselves. You know, they're just really going in to saying the most, you know, almost to the point where, hopefully, you're not letting it just drag on. But if they're saying some things that are not in agreement with what you feel about them, you're going to jump in there and stop them, right? At some point you're going to jump in there and say, wait, man, this isn't right. I don't want to hear you talking like that. And you would try to hopefully right the ship a little bit, so to speak. You would try to help them get to a better place about something. You just wouldn't let them sink further and then tell them, okay, well, I got to go and, do something else. Bye. That's not how we would treat them. But in the relationship with ourselves, sometimes that's exactly how we treat ourselves. We'll let ourselves go on and on and on and on and say all these mean and destructive things about ourselves with no method of stopping ourselves at all. So we are not, in effect, our best friend, right? We have to become our own best friend so we can learn to set the gauge of what we're going to allow to come into our headspace. Right? We have to become our own best friend so we can kind of introduce new methods of thinking that stop the sabotage of our own good feelings or our own good mood or whatever. You wouldn't do that for a good best friend, for a best friend of yours, right? You would jump in there immediately and tell them, no, that's not the way it is. Come on, let's go have a dinner. Let's go, sit down somewhere. Let's get out of here. Let me take you out. You would do something like that just to change their mood. But what do you do for yourself? What do you do for yourself when you're feeling that way about you and you're not discussing it with anyone? What do you do with it? And this is important because this is the aspect of self-awareness and understanding your own limitations so you can take better application of care to yourself, right? We have to improve the level of care that you feel for yourself. This is a self-motivated idea. This is a self idea. All right. And it's not a bad thing. People always say, oh, being selfish. There's a difference. We're being self-aware, not selfish. Self-aware is nothing close to being selfish. Selfish is an indeed intended act to withhold from people or whatever. All right. This is an intention. You're intended to be selfish. Self-aware is a practice. It's a practice that includes you being aware of you, your feelings, your mood, your understanding of a situation. This is being aware in the moment. This is a healthy practice that must happen. But we get kind of turned around a little bit because we don't have the awareness kind of going. We're not making good conclusions at this time. We're leaving it too loose. So we got to bring this back in a little bit. We've got to make it to where, you are in survivable waters. You're creating more currents in your water, paddling and splashing and doing all this stuff, and you're creating more waves, right? So the water can just rise over your head when we have to learn to take the mentality of conserving the energy. All right, so this is a big deal for people, right? This is a struggle. And the only way we can really work through a struggle is with new application of something. We have to introduce something into the mix. Something has to get thrown into the equation now that changes everything, right? Something new has to happen that didn't happen before in order to move this going back in your favor. It has to be a thought, a new introduction of a thought that moves this back to where you can finally see it. Because, let's look at the example. When we don't take the time to fully involve our self, our emotions properly into a situation, we begin to make ego reactions or reactionary behavior that compromises good outcomes. We've talked about that before, right? So this is an important step. And like I said, I see a lot of people kind of struggling with this aspect of themselves, and it becomes more and more challenging the more we have poor conversations with ourselves, right? It's the poor conversations. Your best friend, you don't allow them to speak like that. You don't allow them to go on and say mean things about themselves or say things that they're just kind of, in a bad moment. You just don't encourage them. You don't say more things with them to make them feel worse, right? No, you get in front of it and you try to calm the moment down. You try to tell them that you don't believe that. Hey, wait, don't think like that. Well, you got to do that for yourself. You have to become your own best friend. You must become your own best friend. If your best friend came over to your house and was about to hit himself in the head with a bottle, would you let him do it? I know this is a little, I'm using a really weird example, but what I'm saying is, would you let your best friend hurt themselves? Then why do you allow you to hurt yourself? Why do you allow you to hurt yourself, but you're saying, no, I wouldn't let my best friend do that? Because many of you put yourselves in compromising situations that hurt yourself over and over and over again. So you are not reflecting the best friend quality that you should have with yourself. Because, later on, as we get further, we're going to have to talk about inner child reactions, all these sort of things that make all of this come together a little bit more, more perspective. Your view of this can grow a little bit as we understand why these agreements need to be made, what it's leading up to. But becoming your own best friend will start with you putting a healthier protection around the actions and things that compromise how you identify with yourself. This has to be first. This needs to be a general rule that you now enact in your everyday life. You must become your own best friend. You need to say it, I don't know how many times a day, but you need to say, I am my own best friend. I am my own best friend, and become that guardian of that friendship within you, right? You got to become something greater than you were before so you can be in protection or a higher, maybe understanding, awareness of how important the friendship with you is. See, this keeps your emotions regulated. If you can at least agree with you and be in some sort of friendship with yourself, now we are in total agreement. Right. The other way, we're in disagreement. Just think when you're in conflict with your friend and, you guys are being bratty towards each other and nobody wants to talk and you guys are turning your backs. Well, this is what you do to yourself when in direct conflict with self by not being your best friend. Treating someone else better than you treat yourselves is a direct indication that you are not in a direct good friendship with yourself. You can't treat people better than you treat yourself. You can't go out of your way laying down and jumping in front of buses and stuff for other people when you'll push yourself in front of that same bus. This is not conducive to you building a healthier relationship with yourself. All right. So, I want you to think about this in relationship to now how you need to change your perspective from how you treated yourself to a better outlook on how you will begin to treat yourself. This needs to be a shift and almost like a paradigm shift that occurs in your mind right now. You are at a paradox point in your life where you need to make a shift in your total mindset of how you used to treat yourself as a like you didn't even treat yourself maybe as an acquaintance in your own life. You did things to yourself. You put yourselves in compromising situations, right? You put yourselves in abusive situations. You talk to yourself abusively. You've done things to yourself that compromise your own peace and happiness. You've done it to yourself, but that's because you did not identify with your own best friendship. But now you have a new understanding. You are becoming awakened to the fact that you must agree with you, that you must go within and become your own best friend. This is a benefit to your life. This is a benefit for you to stop treating yourself so savagely and doing things to yourself that you know are in direct conflict to you gaining any sort of peace and happiness. This is important for your mental health. So I want to stress the importance of you going in with yourself today and build an awareness type understanding. Build your awareness. Build your awareness right here.
You are listening to The Remedy.
I appreciate you guys dropping in. I hope you have a wonderful day. As always, if you liked it, hit the like. All right? But we'll do this again. Jay Thompson. You guys have a great day.